Welcome on board Scarlet Lady. She is the first cruise ship for Virgin Voyages, and I have to admit that this is not really on board the ship because the ship has actually not sailed yet. This is a mock-up cabin that I was lucky enough to be able to tour, and I'd like to show you around, so come with me. Virgin Voyages have been lovely and have allowed me to give you guys some onboard credit. To find out how you can get up to $400 of onboard credit completely free, check out the description. Starting our tour looking at the bed, this is the thing that really sets Virgin Voyages aside from other cruise companies. So this bed is set up like this in the day, and at night it will transform into a double bed. I've never seen anything like it on a cruise ship before, and I actually really like it. I have to admit, when the idea first came out, I didn't really understand it. I thought it seemed like a lot of work for no real gain, but now I've seen how big it makes the room feel, I do understand. By the side here, you've got some light switches, and we have got 2 USB sockets and 1 US socket. There are so many plug sockets in this cabin, more than I've ever seen in any cruise ship cabin ever. There is 10 in total, which is crazy. Virgin Voyages are all about the sociable aspect of cruising, and the idea is you'd have your friends round and you'd all be sat here and you'd be having a drink, and it just makes the cabin so much more spacious. I think the square footage of this cabin is pretty standard among the industry, but when the bed isn't in the way, it does feel a lot bigger. Also, because there is a big sofa here, there doesn't need to be a sofa or a big chair at the other end of the cabin, so that makes that feel really spacious too. We've got a TV here. This is a full 4K TV. Virgin Voyages really are hot on technology. I'm not sure if you're able to get an idea of how much space there is on the floor, but you could do push-ups here, you could dance, you could do just about anything in this space. In the back corner here, we've got a chair which is very comfortable once you get into it. It's not particularly practical or sensible, but I don't think Virgin Voyages are really going for that. It's fun, and it's got this cushion on it that says, "Scarlet, you are mermazing." Virgin Voyages love their puns. If you can think of a ship pun, leave it in the comments. Life's too short not to be silly, I think. I love this desk area. I think it looks just gorgeous and it makes for some really great photos. It is worth noting though that there is no extra storage around the desk. On most cruise ships you'll find some drawers here, or at least a drawer where you can put things like your hair straighteners, but there aren't any drawers or cupboards or anything over by the desk. We don't have a kettle here, but I think Virgin Voyages are a little bit too rock and roll for tea, I think, to be honest. I think you're more likely to have a glass of champagne on a Virgin Voyages cruise. In the minibar you'll find all kinds of usual things, and you'll also find a box of condoms, and I think that tells you quite a lot about the Virgin Voyages brand. I will say no more. Virgin Voyages cruises do include basic beverages. They include your meals in all restaurants on board, and they include Wi-Fi. So there is quite a lot included in the cruise fare. Let me know in the comments if you like the design of this cabin. I really like it. I think it's very me. I love the colours, and it does feel very, very spacious when you're in here. I hope you can understand that through the video. It's quite difficult to show you, but it does feel a lot more spacious than a lot of the cabins I've been in. Carrying on and talking about plug sockets again, there are more plug sockets on this desk. I've never been in a cruise ship cabin before with so many plug sockets. There you will find 2 more USBs, a US and an EU plug socket. So there's 4 here and 3 by each side of the bed, which makes 10. It's worth noting that the bed only goes into a double bed. You can't have the bed as twins, which I think is a bit of a shame because I think this would be a fantastic cruise to go on with friends. In terms of storage space, the only place where you have storage space is in the wardrobe in this corner. It would be completely fine for me because I do pack ridiculously light, but I know a lot of people who would struggle with the amount of storage space in this cabin. So we've got a big section here for hanging clothes, and that is just covered up by a curtain. I do find it a bit strange that the wardrobe doesn't have a proper door, it just has this curtain. I've never seen that on a cruise ship before. It's not a problem, it's just something to note. Please let me know in the comments what you would call this. I would always call this a dressing gown, but I know a lot of people call them bathrobes. I'm not sure if that's just a British American thing. It seems like Canada and Australia also call them dressing gowns. Let me know what you call it and where you're from in the comments. If you were cruising in this cabin, you would probably end up putting your suitcases at the bottom of the wardrobe. They're not really going to fit under the bed because the bed does move, so that's kind of your only option. No problem for me because I pack ridiculously light, but if you're someone who likes to bring multiple suitcases, you might have to ask the cabin steward to take them away or put them under the piece of the bed that doesn't move. This part in the middle can be used for your shoes and your bag. We do have a lot of shelf space here, there's lots and lots of shelves, but as I said earlier, this is the only storage you will find in the cabin. Not a problem for me, but I do know some people that would struggle with that. If you are considering booking in an inside or an Oceanview cabin, the cabins are very, very similar to this one. In terms of design, they're almost identical. They're a bit smaller and you won't have a balcony cabin, but that's about it. Looking under the bed here, you might be able to put your suitcase there if your suitcase is quite small. I think mine will be okay, but if you do have a big suitcase, it is not going to fit under there. Alternatively, it could go under the desk at the far end of the cabin or maybe by the chair. There are quite a lot of options, but it's just a little bit different from a standard cabin. One thing that I think this cabin is missing is bedside tables. I know it's a really small thing, but it does make a big difference to me. I normally like to have a drink by the side of the bed when I'm asleep, and I'm not sure that I could do this in this cabin without fear of me knocking it all over the floor. I think it's very impressive the amount of plug sockets though, and the fact that the plug sockets are right by the bed. Off onto the balcony and you will notice this massive hammock. This is my favourite thing about the balcony. Apparently they're all hand woven and they look very, very comfortable. As you can see, this is filmed in a warehouse, so the sea is just a drawing, but it does give you an idea of what the balcony will be like. It would be really nice to hang here and just watch the world go by. You could use Virgin Voyages included Wi-Fi and I think I would be very happy. The Virgin Voyages bed certainly is a divisive subject. I really like it. I wasn't really too sure about it when I first saw the cabin. To be honest, I thought it was just a lot of work for the cabin steward and I was a bit worried that I wouldn't be able to have my afternoon naps. But I'm assured that the passengers are completely in control of when the bed is made up and down, and if you want to leave it as a bed all of the time, that is completely fine. The bed itself is approximately 2 meters long, which is the average length of beds sold in Europe. If you're over about 6'2", your feet will probably hang off the end, but you're probably used to that. It's a pretty standard bed. The mattress is a full thickness and they will lay a mattress topper at night. I was a bit worried about how comfortable this realistically could be, and the answer is very, very comfortable. I'd be more than happy to stay here, and I've definitely cruised on other cruise ships where the bed is nowhere near as comfortable as this one. When the bed's made up, it looks like this. It makes the cabin look like pretty much any other cruise cabin. The bed's very comfortable, it is a full length, and I would definitely like to stay in it. Overall, I was really impressed by the cabin. I loved the design and the layout. The seabed made it feel so much bigger than it was, and it was already a decent size. The thing that concerns me is the lack of storage in the cabin. If you're someone like me, it's not going to be a problem at all, but I do know people who bring multiple suitcases on a cruise, and that might be a little bit tricky. Virgin Voyages have been very kind to me, first letting me tour this cabin and secondly letting me join their affiliate scheme. This means that I can offer you guys onboard credit when you book directly with the Virgin Voyages. If you're booking an inside or an Oceanview cabin, I can offer you $100. If you're booking a sea terrace, I can offer you $200, and if you're booking a suite, I can offer you $400. To get the onboard credit, you have to click on the link in the description and enter code EmmaCruisesLoot, which will apply the onboard credit. The promotion runs until the end of March 2020. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment or email me. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that you liked it. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.